Yeah, I mean, that's fascinating because it is a challenge. I think the challenge with pros, you're managing egos, you're managing their psychology and how to get maximum performance. On the youth, depending which youth organization you're dealing with, you're managing families, you're managing player development and a player enjoyment, depending on
Hmm.
how young they are. So, like, I think one of the things that stands out for me is which coach is adaptable too. I think as a coach, you've got to be adaptable to your environment and got to understand the environment you do. So I truly appreciate Rod on hitting those points. But one of the things, the next things I want to kind of transition to is how do you lead a team of talented players who lack elite mindset and work ethic to be successful? And I want to kind of tie it back to there was a great documentary on the playbook, coach's playbook, that Serena Williams' coach Patrick was discussing a great question: why do players tank? Why do players tank? And he said the main thing is talented players tank. Okay, and I want to go. How do we, as coaches, in your perspective, um, coach talented players that have and that lack the mindset and work ethic to be successful?
That's a great question, but you mentioned something very interesting earlier, just in this piece here about how do we manage, or how do we lead in the ever-changing world, right?
Mm,
And something that is interesting that's coming out in sports leadership is the modern contemporary leader must be able to lead through ambiguity, meaning the uncertainties of what's happening, and being freer to let things go and being adjustable. Because Shai mentioned about leadership styles. Something else that's coming out in sports leadership is that sports leaders now can move between different styles
Perfect.
depending on the circumstances and the situations within their organization, within their team. So that's a new thing in sports leadership, because if you go look at our greats, right, look at our great in American sports, right, you can see that someone were very, Vince Lombardi, he never changed, right? He was the same leader all the time. He was the same leader all the time. So um, that was important. But now the modern leader cannot. And the reason the modern leader cannot is because something that we will all find interesting is that the process is of group think and groups making leadership. Sometimes the leader, the general manager, is the follower, and the hourly person is the leader in these decision making situations. So very interesting thinking, right? Very interesting thinking. So now to answer the question of how do we manage the elite player, right? That is so unique, because here's the reality: the mental aspect of the game, of soccer, right? Of football, of American, of European football, of world football, is just now coming into its own, right? There's people out there that talk about it, but now there's information showing, right, that what it takes, right? So to manage that elite player, first off, it's relationship. It's relationship. If you have the correct relationship um, with the player, they trust you. They know that if they don't perform on their level, this is the biggest key. If they don't perform on the particular level, the day on that particular day, they don't feel the pressure from the coach. They feel the pressure from themselves, because they know that the coach trusts them to get back. You guys see the it's like a thing on ESPN where Steve, uh, Stephen Curry
Curry.
is having, yeah, yeah, Curry's having not a great game, and then Kerr comes in and says, "Man, I wish I could shoot. I wish I could shoot like you." And
Right.
that was a great day for me. That's why Curry doesn't tank in that environment. That's why when you see him, he's always upbeat because the coach has instilled in him, hey, be yourself, man. I know the level that you can be, but I know you can't play that way every single day. And that is what's going to be the difference maker, helping that elite player.